Welcome. In our channel, drop a comment and share your thoughts with me. I'm super curious. Since I was 15, William had always been my protector. Gentle, devoted, and endlessly kind. I believed with all my heart that no matter what happened in this world, he would never betray me. He was my only family, my safe harbor. But it wasn't until I stood on the edge of death that I truly understood the depth of his love, and the painful truth of his betrayal. It was the winter solstice, and heavy snow blanketed the city. I stood by the window of the obstetrics and gynecology department, staring out at the endless white. My thoughts were scattered, but one question kept circling in my mind. If I die, what will William do? I had come in for a joyful pregnancy checkup, excited to see the little life growing inside me. Instead, I was diagnosed with kidney cancer. The news hit like a storm, silent and sudden. I didn't know how to tell William, how to break his heart when he already carried so much. I was about to call him when I saw them through the glass, William and my mother-in-law, walking from the parking lot toward the clinic. My mother-in-law was holding hands with a young girl, and William followed a few steps behind. The snow made the ground slippery, and the girl stumbled. My mother-in-law turned to William, and without hesitation, he stepped forward, gently steadying her. In that moment, framed by the swirling snow, he looked like a man in love, tender, attentive, protective. But the girl wasn't me. It was Hannah, his secretary. I knew her well. I just never imagined they'd be this close. I dialed his number, but he didn't answer. I watched as he looked at his phone, then quietly slipped it back into his pocket. He escorted the two women into the clinic, then turned and walked back toward the parking lot alone. A moment later, my phone rang. "What's wrong, Diana?" His voice was soft, just like always, so warm, so full of affection. It made his lies almost impossible to detect. "Something came up," I said. "I'll come to your office later." He paused. "I've got meetings all morning. How about we meet for lunch?" Lately he'd been so busy. Too busy to eat with me, too busy to come home before I fell asleep. I used to worry about him, reminding him to take care of himself. Now I wondered what he was so busy with. Once trust begins to crack, the fractures only grow deeper. I couldn't understand. Life is so short. Why not love one person completely, honestly, without secrets or pain? Wouldn't that be better? I held back the storm inside me. I didn't want to fight over the phone. I preferred to talk face to face. That morning, when I saw the 2 lines on the pregnancy test, my first instinct was to call him, to ask him to come with me to the hospital. But he seemed so rushed, so distracted. I didn't want to burden him. Who would have thought the reason he left in such a hurry was to bring someone else to the same hospital? After we hung up, my stomach twisted. I rushed to the bathroom, but nothing came up. As I straightened, I heard voices in the hallway. "Hannah, walk slower. You have to be careful at all times." "I'm only 5 weeks along," the girl replied. "I don't even feel it yet. No need to be so nervous." "Silly girl, the first 3 months are the most delicate. Just promise me you'll give me and William a chubby grandchild to brighten our days." Hannah laughed. "Of course. I'll make sure you're happy every day." My mother-in-law's voice warmed. "Even if William doesn't say it, he really likes your personality too." "I can't wait," Hannah said. "The 3 of us will bring you so much joy." Something inside me shattered. It was like lightning in a clear sky. Sudden, blinding, devastating. My baby was 5 weeks old too. He claimed to love me more than anything, yet he had gotten another woman pregnant at the same time. A wave of nausea crashed over me. Moments ago I couldn't even vomit. Now I was retching uncontrollably. I stepped out of the clinic, the snowflakes cold against my skin, just like my heart. William's car was already gone. But I couldn't wait until lunch. I went straight to his office. The receptionist greeted me with respect and led me inside, but he hadn't returned yet. I sat at his desk surrounded by photos. Us in high school, in college, our wedding, our 10th anniversary just months ago. My eyes burned with unshed tears. I remembered the boy who was always so distant, so cool, except with me. "Don't cry, Diana," he'd said after Uncle Lou passed. "He's gone, but I'm here. I'll never leave you. Marry me. I swear I'll protect you for the rest of my life." At our wedding, he'd vowed before everyone. I, William, swear to love Diana Lou and only Diana Lou for my entire life. If I betray her, let me die a miserable death. Promises are probably the cheapest things in the world. And yet, someone like me takes them to heart. When I found out about the cancer, my greatest sorrow wasn't dying. It was the thought of leaving him who depended on me so much. How would he survive without me? But maybe he'd be better off. I laughed bitterly, tears spilling over. But what could I do? I couldn't accept it. Then from down the hall I heard laughter, Hannah's voice light and playful. "Thank you, Mr. Young, for taking time out of your busy schedule to have breakfast with me. I'll work twice as hard to repay you." "All right, enough jokes," William said. "Here's the cake you've been craving." "You're not allowed to eat snacks right after breakfast," she teased. "Come find me in an hour." "Ugh, you're so strict," she giggled. "But I'll obey." The door opened. William froze when he saw me. I looked at the cake in his hand, feigning surprise. "Is it intuition? I was just craving cake, and here you are with one." His tension eased slightly. He walked over and placed it in front of me. "I got your favorite, orange mousse." Hannah's smile faltered, but she quickly recovered. "Oh, Diana. Long time no see. You're still as elegant as ever. No wonder Mr. Young says I'm childish and immature. Must be that grace that comes with age." Was she implying that I only held his love because of my age? That one day she'd repay me for standing in her way? I smiled faintly, saying nothing. William frowned. "Hannah, get out." She hadn't expected that, especially not from the man who fathered her child. Her lip trembled. "I'm sorry, Mr. Young. I won't disturb you and Diana again." He didn't look at her. She left quietly. His eyes stayed on me, cautious. "Didn't I say I'd pick you up before lunch? Why did you come?" I looked at him. The tears I'd held back for so long finally fell. He panicked, clumsily wiping them, pulling me into his arms. "Diana, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? I'm dying. And before I die, I find out the man I love most has already betrayed me. Don't you think those who betray true love should pay a price?" I threw the cake into the trash, sobbing harder, but smiled at him. "You bought it for her. Why lie to me? If you've fallen for a younger girl, just tell me. I'll let you go. You don't have to honor our past promises. I only want you to be with the one you love and live happily." His face changed completely. The man who was always so composed was now shaken to his core. "Diana, you're the only one in my heart. I could never love anyone else. Please don't overthink this." His sincerity almost made me believe him. "William," I said softly, "I'll ask you once. What is your relationship with Hannah?" As he opened his mouth, I added, "Don't lie to me. If you do, we'll never see each other again, even in death." He fell silent. Slowly, his eyes turned red. "I'm sorry, Diana. I was afraid of losing you, so I kept it from you. There's nothing between us. But she's pregnant with my child." My hands trembled. My body shook. This had to be the most shameful thing I'd ever heard. He held me tighter, voice hoarse. "For years, my mother pressured me to divorce you because of the child issue. I didn't want to hurt you, so I never told you. She likes Hannah, tried to push us together. When I refused, she threatened suicide. The child was conceived through artificial insemination. My mother promised she'd raise the child herself and never interfere with us again. I agreed, because I couldn't let her die." I laughed softly. "So that was it. Like in the old days, when a wife couldn't bear children, a concubine was brought in to continue the bloodline. The only difference." He believed that since there was no affair, it wasn't betrayal. But the boy who once loved me with his whole soul, the one who swore he'd protect me forever, was gone. William lost his father young. His mother, Eva, raised him alone. She wanted him to marry into wealth and status, but he chose me, an orphan with nothing. After 2 miscarriages I couldn't conceive, and even never let me forget it. Behind closed doors she mocked me, cursed me, blamed me for bringing misfortune to the Young family. But in front of William, she played the perfect mother-in-law. No one would believe the truth except me. Thankfully, William loved me enough to respect my wish not to live with her. We avoided her, and for years we had peace. But now I see that peace was an illusion. I smiled though my voice shook. Before we got married, she tried to kill herself to make you break up with me. Have you forgotten? His gaze flickered. For a long moment he was silent. Then quietly he whispered, I hurt her once before, and now she's even older. I stared at him numb. And then the urge to laugh grew stronger than ever. The same old suicide threat just like before. Only this time he made a different choice. It was as if, all these years, I'd been the obstacle between them, the one disrupting their perfect mother-son bond. And now they were both here, working together to push me out of the picture. He was unsettled by my laughter, pulling me into his arms again. His eyes pleading. Diana, don't leave me because of this. I'll do anything you want. Just don't leave me. Anything. I smiled, nodding slowly. All right. I'm pregnant too. Your family won't be without an heir. Have Hannah get rid of the child, fire her, and I'll pretend none of this ever happened. I stared into his eyes, waiting. For a moment, I let myself believe that if he agreed, I'd fight through the pain and risk my life to bring our child into the world. But the hesitation in his expression was unmistakable. There was shock, yes, but no joy. Diana, don't be stubborn with me, okay? He said softly. My father passed away early, and my mother's had a hard life. Since you couldn't have children, I had to make a compromise. You and my mother are both the most important people in my life. Can't you understand my position? I swallowed the ache in my chest and spoke slowly, each word deliberate. I really am pregnant. Do you need me to show you the test results? But unfortunately, I was so overwhelmed with nausea, I cried and tore them up. He rubbed his temples, taking a deep breath. After all these years of trying, so many hospitals, so many medications, you still couldn't conceive. I didn't want to see you suffer anymore, so I agreed with my mother. I turned my head away. So he wanted a child with Hannah. For my sake. He paused, frowning, then gripped my shoulders gently. And even if you are pregnant, after all the medication you've taken, the child might not be healthy. Don't be unreasonable with me, okay? I promise. Once Hannah's child is born, I'll hand it over to my mother and never see her again. Isn't that enough? You've always been so understanding, Diana. Why are you making things difficult now? With every word, my heart grew colder. We stood there, locked in silence, the air thick with tension. Then a soft knock at the door. Hannah's voice, light, careful. She was reminding him of a meeting. I smiled faintly. Keep the child and fire her. Is that really too much to ask? Seeing me smile, he exhaled deeply, as if a weight had been lifted. He pulled me close again. All right. I promise you. As long as you're not angry with me. I wouldn't be angry. Because it didn't matter anymore. After leaving his office, I went straight to the hospital. When the doctor gently suggested I consider terminating the pregnancy to focus on cancer treatment, I hesitated. I had longed for this child for so long. I had imagined giving my life so this little one could stay behind, so he could have a father, a family, a future. I believed William would love him fiercely, protect him, make him the happiest child in the world. Even if I wasn't there to watch him grow, I thought it would be worth it. But now I knew the truth. His father didn't love him enough to choose him. He was already looking forward to another woman's child. So why bring this little one into a life of rejection, of being second best? I didn't choose the painless option. I wanted to feel every second of this agony, because I wasn't the only one who should suffer. The procedure was over quickly. It's strange. How hard it is to create a life, yet how simple it is to end one. I took a photo of my pale, exhausted face, along with the medical paperwork, and posted it in a private corner of my social media, visible only to me. Asterisk, no more moonlight for William. Asterisk. I wondered how he'd feel when he saw it one day. But whatever he felt, it no longer mattered to me. I sat on a bench outside the operating room, letting my mind go blank for what felt like hours. When I finally tried to stand, a sudden rush of blood poured from me, like a spring breaking through dry earth. I clung to the wall, each step a knife between my legs. And then I thought of the little mermaid. When she gave up her tail and walked toward the prince, did she feel this same unbearable pain? In the end, she never won his love. She turned into sea foam, vanishing without a trace. If the prince had known the truth, he'd probably say, asterisk, it's not my fault. I'm innocent. Asterisk. Just like my William, who held me with red, pleading eyes and whispered, asterisk, I love you so much. Why are you making things difficult for me? Asterisk. Funny, isn't it? But I wouldn't become sea foam. I wouldn't disappear quietly. I wanted to become something more, something that would last. By the time I reached the oncology hospital, cold sweat soaked my clothes. Alexander's eyes filled with pain the moment he saw me. Senior, don't be afraid. We'll run a full examination first. If the cancer hasn't spread, we can consider a nephrectomy. With proper treatment, the 10-year survival rate for kidney cancer is actually quite high. Alexander and I both graduated from North City University's medical school. He was 2 years younger, now a rising star in the urological oncology department. As for me, 3 years ago an injury ended my career. I can no longer hold a scalpel. I had to say goodbye to the profession I loved. I smiled and shook my head. I only have one kidney. The other was lost in that accident. So I know my situation isn't optimistic. Seeing the pity in his eyes, I waved my hand. Don't look at me like that. That's exactly why I didn't want to come to a familiar doctor. I can't stand it. Actually, I continued, coming for treatment is secondary. I mainly came to ask you a favor. He straightened, composing himself. Tell me, Senior. I want to donate my body to the medical school for research. The cup in his hand clattered to the floor. Senior, his voice broke. In the end, I had to comfort him. My life had been short. I hadn't achieved much. But if I could do one meaningful thing after I was gone, I would. And besides, I didn't want to be buried in a cemetery, giving William a place to mourn me. The thought of him standing at my grave, the father of Hannah's child, maybe even building a whole new family after I was gone, it made my skin crawl. I'll be dead. Don't come and disgust me any further. By the time I got home, it was already evening. I expected the usual silence, the cold, empty house. But to my surprise, William, the man who was always too busy, was in the kitchen wearing an apron, cooking for me. His gentle smile, so familiar, so warm, stirred something deep inside me. For a moment, I almost believed we could go back. But those days were gone. Forever. That night he held me close. I'm taking a week off for the new year. We'll spend New Year's Eve at Universal Studios, then go to a hot spring resort. How does that sound? Froze. When Universal Studios first opened, I had begged him to take me. He kept delaying. 3 months passed before he even remembered. And during those 3 months, while I still loved him with all my heart, he was busy making a baby with Hannah. If I hadn't caught them, if I hadn't confronted him, I probably would have died without ever seeing this day. Smiled. Okay. He sighed in relief, intertwining his fingers with mine. His voice was softer than ever. Diana, the truth is, I've been avoiding you these past few months because I was too scared to face you. I won't do that anymore, okay? Okay. We'll be like we used to be. No secrets, no distance. Just close. Just us. All right. All right. Seeing me agree so easily, he seemed almost nervous. Diana, you really understand me now. You don't blame me anymore, do you? That's right. I gently pulled my hand free and smoothed the worry from his brow. I didn't want our final days to be filled with arguments and broken memories. And besides, the kinder I was now, the deeper the wound would be later. Loving him one last time was the final punishment I'd leave for him. As I lay in William's warm embrace, listening to the steady rhythm of his breathing, I began to drift off. Then my phone buzzed. It was Hannah. Smirked, not surprised at all. She was the first to crack, just as I expected. The screen lit up with Hannah's message. "Diana, can we talk? I know you saw everything. I didn't mean for it to happen like this. But I love him. And I'm carrying his child. Please, don't take that away from me." I stared at the words, then closed my eyes and exhaled slowly. So fragile, so desperate. She still believed this was a battle of love, a contest between two women fighting over a man. She had no idea she was already irrelevant. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my private social media circle and uploaded one final photo, the signed consent form for my body donation, with a simple caption: "For science. For truth. For the man who will never see this coming." Then I turned off my phone and placed it face down on the nightstand. William stirred beside me, murmuring something in his sleep. I watched his face, the familiar curve of his jaw, the faint scar above his brow from when he fell protecting me as teenagers. Once, that scar made my heart ache with tenderness. Now it felt like a relic from someone else's life. The next morning I woke before him. I moved quietly, packed a small bag, left the house key on the kitchen counter, and walked out into the winter air. No goodbye. No drama. Just silence. I checked into a private hospice under a different name. Alexander visited me every day. We didn't talk much. Sometimes we just sat together, flipping through old medical textbooks, laughing at the notes we'd scribbled in the margins as students. One evening, as the sun bled gold across the sky, I handed him a sealed envelope. "When I'm gone," I said, "give this to William. Not right away. Wait until after the funeral. Wait until he's standing in that empty house, finally believing he's free to start his new life." He looked at me, hesitant. "What's in it?" Smiled. "The truth. And a little gift." 3 weeks later I passed away peacefully. Alexander followed my instructions. A month after the funeral, William sat in his study, finally relaxed, finally hopeful. Hannah had just moved into the guest house. His mother was ecstatic. The baby was growing strong. Life, he thought, was finally beginning. That's when Alexander arrived. No words, just an envelope. Inside, a DNA test result. The child Hannah was carrying wasn't his. It was from a fertility clinic mix-up. Her eggs had been accidentally implanted with another man's sperm. William was never the father. And the second document, a copy of my body donation records, sent to every major hospital, research institute, and medical school in the country, including the one where Hannah planned to deliver. She would walk into that hospital one day, proud and glowing, only to see my name on a plaque in the anatomy lab. Diana Liu, in gratitude for her gift to medical science. And on the wall beside it, a quote I had chosen: "Love is not proven by promises. It is proven by truth. And sometimes, truth is the last gift a dying woman can give." William never saw it coming. But I did. And in the end, I didn't need revenge. I just needed him to remember me, while the woman he thought would replace me lived under the shadow of my name forever.